sorry, did you want to get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Pronoun!
What's up, space pirates? This is your admiral, the Dread Pirate Dr. Disaster. And do you guys remember last winter when some of the first bits of information about the game Avowed came out? We learned through this screenshot here back then that the game had a pronoun system in it.
What the hell are you doing?
This was a bit of a high-profile issue, with even Elon Musk getting involved, posting on X that having a pronoun system in a fantasy video game setting is unacceptable. And then the art director for the game responded to this on Blue Sky, saying, "It's surreal to have the world's richest, shittiest boy whine about something I am making. I am quite frankly giddy. I cannot think of a single person I would rather irritate." Anyways, Avowed comes out February 18th. Give it a whirl if you ain't afeared of the woke mind virus.
How's that for a touch of reality, buddy?
That dude leaned into the culture war, thinking that the modern audience would swoop in and save them, but the game sold like shit, hitting only about 310,000 units sold on Steam. Considering that Obsidian spent a reported $100 million or more developing Avowed, you would think that after such an ass-whooping, they would take the hint and change their ways. But apparently these people are incapable of admitting when they've lost.
I will not be defeated. I will negotiate and I will compromise, but defeat?
The Outer Worlds 2 is the next Obsidian game coming out in a little over a month, and thus far, nobody who has reviewed the game has shown this tab here yet in the character creator mode. At least I haven't been able to find any screenshots of it. This is the name tab where, presumably, if there was going to be a pronoun system, it would show up there. However, this image depicts the appearance tab for the Outer Worlds 2, and as you can see here, rather than give players a male and female option for the character that you're creating, they make you choose between body type 1 and 2, a dehumanizing approach to character creation which panders to the gender ideology crowd.
I'm just saying it's ridiculous how everything is being sold as homosexual nowadays.
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, I've started uploading content onto Rumble, so make sure to follow me over there, and don't forget to follow me over on X. I keep a list of games lousy with wokeness pinned to my account at all times for your reference. My handle over there is Dr. Disaster 1. But let's talk about Outer Worlds 2. Obsidian is simply an irredeemable studio at this point. There's no getting around it. They refuse to fix their issues. As I said before, there have been no images that I have found anywhere which depicts the name tab of the character creation screen for Outer Worlds 2, but even if they haven't added the ability to choose your pronouns, rather than have them affixed to the male or female body that you chose for your character, but even if they got away from a free roam pronoun system like what we saw in Avowed, they clearly haven't gotten the memo that gamers do not care for this body type nonsense. This is still them catering to the gender confusion cult. And you know, I know there are people out there who will pass this sort of thing off as if it isn't a big deal, but it is. Language matters. The words that we use to describe things, they matter. If they didn't, then why would these people be going out of their way to change the conventions in the first place? It would be much simpler for a game to tie the pronouns that NPCs use to describe your character to a male or female body, but they go out of their way to create a new norm. And for those of us who don't agree with this way of looking at the world, it is up to us to speak out and say that no, I'm not interested, I don't want any part of this, because this sort of thing takes me out of the experience. It is immersion breaking. For the vast majority of people, we don't buy into this shit-lib gender politics, and we shouldn't have to have it crammed down our throats anytime we play a video game. And in order to illustrate just how unpopular all of this gendered garbage is, take a look at this poll that was conducted by Marek Tominsky earlier this year on X. This guy is the CEO of CI Games, the makers of the Lords of the Fallen series. He wrote, "In a medieval fantasy action RPG experience, what do you prefer to choose between? We will follow the final result," and he gave the choice for body type A/B, male or female, or none of the above. And the male and female option got damn near 90% of the vote. Now, I know that this guy was tailoring this to fit his own game, Lords of the Fallen, which is a medieval fantasy setting, so that's why he framed the question the way he did, specifically asking about a medieval fantasy setting. But let's be real here. You could ask this about any setting, and the results would be roughly the same, even if you were talking about a science fiction setting like Outer Worlds 2. The vast majority of the population do not buy into this shit-lib worldview, and we don't want to have it foisted on us like fricking vandalism on our culture. So in my view, if Obsidian had any shred of self-preservation, if they were at all concerned with making Outer Worlds 2 accessible to more than just a niche audience, they would remove this body type crap from their character creator at once. After all, look at how the trailer for this game, showing off the companions, look at how it was received. They got hit with a ratio of over 3-1 because people really disliked the look of this turd. They had the cheekiness in this video to use that line, and no, you can't sleep with them, at the end of this trailer, acting as if what they had designed would be really popular. But as this person said in the comment section to that trailer, bold of you to assume anyone was even considering that option. This is simply not a game that looks particularly interesting to anyone who wasn't already a hardcore fan of the original. And I've actually found at least one reviewer of this game who agrees that it isn't particularly good. Most game journalists, when they get early access to a game like this, which was made under the umbrella of a major corporation like Xbox, but most of them, unless the game is completely broken, has all kinds of irredeemable bugs or something like that, most of them will use generic platitudes to describe how supposedly awesome the game is. But kudos to this writer here for being honest. He wrote, "When I went to the closed 60-minute presentation of the Outer Worlds 2 at Gamescom, I was hoping for an evolution, deeper systems, and a game that would finally spread its wings and become a worthy competitor to Fallout. Unfortunately, what I saw was a harsh reality check. The demo suggests that the Outer Worlds 2 is a sequel in the safest and most disappointing sense of the word. This is a game that can simply be described as more of the same. Even though the original fans might see it as good news, for me it's a missed opportunity and proof that the creators didn't learn their lesson." And then this guy starts describing the writing, which sounds an awful lot like millennial writing to me. He wrote, "The first thing that strikes you about the Outer Worlds 2 is the tone, and specifically its lack of evolution. If you didn't like the specific, somewhat absurd humor of the first part, I have bad news. The sequel doesn't do anything to win you over. This is exactly the same level of humor as before. The conversations are really easygoing, and the whole story is soaked in the same mocking style, which I find kind of childish, but you get the idea. Basically, the game sounds uninspired and boring from top to bottom unless you are bound to the particular gender ideology that these people are pushing. Then you should give this game a miss, because clearly they can't stand us and don't want us to buy their games anyhow. But I'm gonna leave it there. Drop your mockery of Obsidian and Outer Worlds 2 into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.